Ever get that feeling, when a memory just pops up, like clear as day?
Okay.
It's usually tied to like a big event
Yeah.
or a strong emotion. You just know where you were and what you were doing.
Mm.
It's wild how some memories stick with us so much longer than others?
It really is remarkable. The
Yeah.
more we learn about memory,
Uh-huh.
the more we realize it's not this, like, simple recording device.
Right.
Emotions play a huge part.
Yeah.
And there's some fascinating new research that dives right into that.
Okay, so today we're going deep
Yeah.
into a study from the RIKEN Center for Brain Science,
Cool.
published in the journal Neuron.
Love that journal.
They're really pushing the boundaries of neuroscience, I think.
Yeah, they are.
And what they found about emotions and memory during sleep is, it's seriously cool.
This study builds on what we already know about sleep and memory,
Okay.
but it, takes it to a whole new level.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not just that sleep helps us remember. This research pinpoints how emotions make those memories extra strong during specific sleep phases.
So it's not like those old sleep to remember your study notes tips, right?
Right, exactly.
This is way more specific.
It is. There's
Yeah.
a very specific interplay happening in the brain
Yeah.
between emotions, different brain regions, and the stage of sleep you're in.
And they figured all of this out by studying mice.
Yeah, and the way they designed the experiment is super clever.
Okay, how so?
They had mice learn to recognize a smooth texture,
Okay.
which on its own
Yeah.
isn't all that exciting.
Not really, no.
Right.
No.
But here's the twist. Some of the mice got a little reward for learning.
Yeah.
They got to interact with a female mouse.
Wait, so
Yeah, little romantic
a
incentive.
mouse date?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Right.
I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
But it makes total sense
It does.
for studying how emotions tie into memory.
Uh-huh.
So did the dates actually make a difference?
Big time. The mice who had that positive, emotionally charged experience remember the texture way longer.
Wow.
Like
the
4 days.
memories.
Versus just one for the mice who didn't get their romantic reward.
Wow, those mice really took their studies seriously.
They did, yeah.
But, okay, so we've got emotions impacting memory,
Yeah.
but what's actually happening in the brain?
Right.
I mean, it can't all be down to just remembering a cute mouse, right?
Right. There's a whole brain region involved called the amygdala.
Okay.
It's like the brain's emotional center.
Right.
And what this study found is that it plays a crucial role in strengthening those emotionally linked memories.
So there's more to it than just one part of the brain freaking out over a date.
You got it.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
it's more like a team effort.
Oh, okay.
Amygdala works together with the motor cortex,
Uh-huh.
which controls movement,
Okay.
and the sensory cortex,
Right.
which processes information from our senses,
Okay.
like that smooth texture the mice were learning.
Gotcha.
So you have this network of brain regions,
Yeah.
all working together,
Mhm.
all influenced by the emotional experience.
Okay, this is getting really interesting.
Yeah.
So we've got emotions, this brain network, and we've got sleep.
Yep.
But honestly, the finding about which stage of sleep is involved really surprised me.
Yeah.
I always assumed it was all about those crazy dreams.
You and pretty much everyone else.
Oh, okay.
You'd think REM sleep,
Yeah.
where we have vivid dreams,
Right.
would be the, star of the show
Yeah.
when it comes to memory.
Right, exactly.
But this study found something totally different.
Oh,
It's actually non-REM sleep,
okay.
that deeper sleep stage where the real magic happens.
Wait, so you're telling me that while those mice were in deep sleep,
Yeah.
no dreams,
Uh-huh.
their brains were still busy replaying their dates and making that texture memory stronger?
Exactly.
That's kind of mind-blowing.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
And the researchers were really clever about proving it.
No, how so?
They confirmed it by, carefully manipulating brain activity during sleep.
Okay.
It turns out blocking signals from the amygdala during non-REM sleep
Right.
completely wiped out the memory boost from the emotional experience.
So no matter how good that date was, if
Mhm.
the brain can't process it during deep sleep,
Yeah,
the memory just fades away.
it seems that way.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
So what about REM sleep? Did anything change when they messed with that?
nothing at all.
Wow, really?
Blocking the amygdala during REM sleep had zero effect
Huh.
on the mice's memory.
Okay.
It really challenges our assumptions about REM sleep being the memory superstar.
I'm starting to see why you called this research groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It's like our entire understanding of how memories are made is being flipped on its head.
It really is a game changer.
Wow.
This research highlights how much more there is to discover
Right.
about how our brains make and store memories,
Yeah.
especially those tied to strong emotions.
So all of this is fascinating. from a science standpoint.
Yeah.
But I have to ask,
Go ahead.
what does it mean for us non-mice folks?
Right.
Does this change how we should think about sleep and memory?
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to dig into next.
Okay, great.
Because this isn't just about mice remembering textures.
Right.
This research could lead to some incredible breakthroughs
Oh, wow.
in treating conditions like PTSD and addiction.
Okay, now that you mention it,
Yeah.
I can see how strong memories, especially traumatic ones,
Right.
could be related to PTSD.
Yeah.
But addiction,
Yeah.
what's the connection there?
Think about how addictions often work.
Okay.
They're tied to powerful memories, linked to like certain places or
Yeah.
sensations,
Yeah.
or even people.
Okay.
Those memories can trigger intense craving,
Right.
or even flashbacks.
So if we could somehow weaken those memory connections,
Yeah,
it could like revolutionize how we treat addiction.
exactly. It's like we could potentially reprogram the brain's emotional memory system.
Really?
And the researchers are even exploring if this could help with age-related memory decline.
Oh, wow.
Imagine the possibilities for people with Alzheimer's or dementia.
That would be incredible.
You would.
But let's back up for a second.
Okay.
If emotions have this huge impact on memory during sleep,
Yeah.
could we actually use that knowledge to our advantage
Yeah.
in everyday life?
Mhm.
I mean, beyond just medical treatments.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It really gets at the heart of why we do scientific research,
Right.
to understand how things work
Right.
so we can use that knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if I'm trying to learn a new language or
Mhm.
study for a big exam,
Yeah.
is there anything I can do to tap into this emotional connection
Yeah.
and make those memories stick?
Well, we don't want to oversimplify things based on, one mouse study,
Right.
but there are some interesting implications here.
Mm.
For example, we know that stress and anxiety
Yeah.
can actually mess with memory formation.
Oh, really?
So creating a calm,
Mm.
positive emotional state while you're learning could be beneficial.
So maybe ditch the all-nighter cram session,
Maybe.
fueled by coffee and panic.
A little caffeine might be okay.
Okay.
But the point is to be mindful of your emotional state.
Yeah.
If you're feeling overwhelmed
Right.
and stressed,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably not the best time to
Ah.
try and absorb new information.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I've definitely had study sessions where I felt like nothing was sinking in.
Right.
And I was probably a total stress ball at the time.
Probably.
Well, it's like my brain just shut down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But think about those times when you learn something effortlessly
Oh,
because you're genuinely interested in it.
right.
That snark of curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
that sense of enjoyment,
Yeah.
those are emotions too.
Right.
And they can make a huge difference.
It's like when you get so absorbed in a book or
Yeah.
a movie that you lose track of time.
What do
You're
you
engaged.
Yeah.
You're feeling those emotions. And
Yeah.
afterward, you can remember so many details.
You got it.
Yeah.
While we can't control every aspect of our emotional state,
Right.
we can become more aware
Yeah.
how our emotions might be affecting our ability to learn and remember.
Okay, I'm getting this.
Yeah.
It's not about forcing ourselves to like feel happy all the time while we're studying.
Yeah.
It's more about recognizing that emotions are part of the learning process
Yeah.
and understanding how to work with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It goes back to that network of brain regions we were talking about.
Right.
The amygdala is like the conductor of an orchestra,
Okay.
and the other parts of the brain are the instruments.
Got it.
They all have to work together to create this symphony
Right.
of memory consolidation during non-REM sleep.
That's a great analogy. So if the emotional experience is off key,
Yeah.
the whole symphony gets messed up.
Pretty much.
Wow.
And here's another thing to consider.
Okay.
This study focused on positive emotional experiences.
Well.
But we all know that negative emotions can also lead to
Yeah.
vivid, long-lasting memories.
Right.
It's likely that similar mechanisms are at play,
Okay.
although more research is needed to be sure.
So whether it's the joy of a mouse state
Yeah.
or like the fear of almost getting hit by a car,
Right.
those strong emotions set off a chain reaction in the brain
Hmm.
that affects how memories are formed during sleep.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that brings up an important question.
What's that?
How do we navigate this?
Okay.
If both positive and negative emotions can influence memory consolidation,
Yeah.
how do we use this knowledge
Right.
in a healthy and constructive way?
That is a big question.
It is.
I mean, we can't just avoid all negative emotions.
Right. Exactly.
That's not realistic
Nope.
or healthy.
No.
But maybe there are ways to like
Yeah.
reframe those experiences
Mm-hmm.
to process them in a way that
Yeah.
doesn't make those memories
Right.
overly intrusive or debilitating.
That's where things get really complex.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond what this one study can tell us.
Right.
But it highlights how interconnected
Yes, yeah.
our emotional and cognitive processes are.
Hmm.
Understanding those connections
Yeah.
can empower us to take more control of
Yeah.
our mental well-being.
So this deep dive into emotional memories has given us a lot to think about, hasn't it? It really has.
Yeah,
It's almost like we're peeking behind the curtain of our own minds,
it is.
seeing these intricate processes at work,
Right.
even when we're not aware of them. It's pretty amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
And it reminds us that our brains are constantly working,
Mm-hmm.
even during sleep,
Yeah.
to shape and solidify our experiences.
Right.
And the more we learn about how it all works,
Uh-huh.
the more possibilities open up for
Right.
using that knowledge to improve our lives.
Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
let's do a quick recap for our listeners.
Okay, sound good.
We started with this really cool study about mice, emotions, and memory.
Hmm.
What were some of the big takeaways from that research?
Well, one of the biggest surprises was that
Yeah.
emotions don't just make memories feel stronger,
Right.
they actually activate a specific network in the brain that gets reactivated during deep sleep.
Right. And it's that reactivation during non-REM sleep,
Yes.
not those crazy dreams we have during REM sleep.
Right.
That seems to be key for solidifying emotional memories.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
It really challenges what a lot of people think about how memory and sleep work together.
So it's like those emotional experiences get a fast track
Yeah, they do.
to long-term memory storage.
Yeah,
All thanks to a good night's sleep.
it seems that way.
Which, makes me feel a little less guilty about all the sleep I get.
Well, sleep is essential for so many reasons.
Right.
And this research just underscores how important it is for our cognitive health,
Yeah.
not just for memory.
Okay.
When we don't get enough sleep,
Mm-hmm.
we're basically shortchanging our brains
Right.
and preventing them from doing all the amazing things they
Yeah.
do behind the scenes.
This has been such a fascinating conversation.
Yeah, it has been.
I feel like I've learned so much about how my own brain works,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to emotions and memory.
Mm-hmm.
But before we say goodbye,
Yeah.
is there one big question you'd like our listeners to ponder
Yeah.
after they finish listening?
I think the most important takeaway is this.
Okay.
Now that you know emotions can influence
Yeah.
how your brain processes memories during sleep,
Right.
how might you pay more attention to your emotional state
Yeah.
when you're learning something important?
That's a great question.
Could you use this knowledge
Yeah.
to make those memories stick more?
That's such a great question.
Yeah,
It really challenges us to be more mindful
it does.
of how we're feeling,
Yeah.
not just for our mental health,
Yeah.
but for our learning and cognitive performance as well.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Wow.
And if anyone wants to go even deeper into this topic,
Yeah.
we'll link to the full study in the show notes.
Perfect. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive
It has.
into the world of emotions, memory, and sleep.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
It was a great conversation.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. And remember, get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Your brain will thank you for it.